What's a very common thing that you just can't relate to? Restaurants that force their staff to act, sing or engage in fake banter. Just make my food please and leave the theater to the thespians. There's this restaurant where I live called Casa Bonita where the staff will put on plays in the middle of the restaurant. It's actually really cool though. There are waterfalls, cliffs, secret passages, and a fight between a pirate and a gorilla to save a damsel in distress. Also, after your meal there are fake caves that you can explore in and treasure to try to find. As a kid it was a ton of fun to visit because of how engaging and entertaining it all was. Getting upset with people for things they are not in control of. I have to be careful of this. I grew up in a family where my parents would be extremely angry at me and not tell me until one day they would blow up at me, or they would act very passive aggressive and I had to figure out if they were angry or not. I learned to watch people really closely for signs they were mad at me or on their way to blowing up at me / ripping the rug out from under me when I least expect it. As an adult, it's a conscious effort to prevent myself from not taking the things other people do personally or not thinking that everything someone does is some sort of sign or personal attack. As an adult, I had a hard time coming to terms with the fact that my parents did the same. My dad had a hair-thin trigger of explosive anger, and it terrified me as a kid, so I learned to study the body / facial expressions to see if what I said / did made him mad. I did that so much it carried to my teenager years and then adulthood. I did it with everyone that it became exhausting to have friends because I always thought I did something to make them mad due to a slight twitch in their face or a different action than normal, so I stopped making friends or interacting with past friends. Having to reference myself as an adult is hard, but it's needed for a lot of people, especially me. The obsession with branded things. Clothes with the brand's name on them just look tacky for me. I'd much rather have a regular old graphic tee instead of a t-shirt with Guxy on the front in gigantic bold capital letters. It's pretty whatever most of the time. Wear what you want and all that. But the obsession becomes incredibly annoying when people act like they're better than you because they spend several $100s on a single shirt. I went to a Big Ten college. I swear everyone was having the time of their life but me. I couldn't wait to graduate. Me too. I couldn't afford a football ticket and didn't major in anything I couldn't have at a school closer to home. Oh well. Exactly. I was so indoctrinated on the big college experience. It was a letdown. And an expensive one at that. It felt like 4 constant years of showing up to a party too late. Being quiet late at night when your parents are asleep. My parents are deaf. Damn. What a life. Not being afraid of being heard. Well, not by your parents at least. IDK about siblings. So many possibilities. I'm stressing just at the prospect of being a child and knowing if something happens to me in the house I can't just scream for help. Smoking. Nearly everyone in my family and all my friends smoke. I remember growing up saying that I'd never try it and being told yeah that's what everyone says. Well it's true for me and I've never even been tempted. If you don't grow up / hang out around smokers it's honestly kind of hard to just pick it up unless you actually want to, especially nowadays since smoking cigarettes isn't as common. Nobody smoked in my family, so I never viewed it as a normal thing to do. I always viewed smoking as a bad and kind of pointless habit. Because that's what I was taught I guess. It's kind of sad that the people who told you that had that attitude. As if becoming a smoker is unavoidable. Sharing your whole intimate life on Facebook / TikTok / Instagram / etc. It's just gross. A coworker of mine posts no less than 3 hours worth of video onto his Snapchat daily. Every single meal he cooks and eats. Every single time he feeds his turtles. Every single walk he takes with his dog. It's insanity. Running a brush through my hair. I have very curly hair so only finger brush it when it's wet which isn't often. Seeing people grab a brush and run it through their hair when they've been in the wind or just to freshen up. I wish. ! I have to brush it in the shower because it's just too curly and thick to do anything with. My sister, whose hair like her father's and would never understand the struggle, grabbed a round hairbrush one day and thought it would be funny to put it in my hair. It got stuck and I just sat there and cried. Another time when I was really young, my aunt, who was my father's whiter half sister, decided to put little tiny buns all over my head with newspaper elastics that ended up getting stuck and ripping out my hair. I literally bled because of it. I'm an office worker. I like my job and coworkers. I also really like it. I can listen to podcasts or watch TV shows while working, and I love the fixed schedules. Coming out of gastronomy work, that's heaven. Please tell me your secret to getting an office job, or at least just CTBH. I hate working retail, and the biggest point for me is the fixed schedule. Weekends off are a huge bonus too, since I need to start college, and the one thing holding me back at this point is my job. Big expensive weddings. Best thing about 2020 for me is that we didn't have a 25k wedding, but instead had a 500 wedding with just us and our parents. That trope where the husband is a useless piece of lazy shit who couldn't possibly feed himself or care for the kids and house without your divine feminine guidance. It used to make me feel bad, like, am I supposed to be running this shit by myself while my man just lies on the couch after work? But then I realized no, it's the trope that's shitty. It's everywhere though, and women think it's somehow cute or empowering to perpetuate it. Keeping up with the Joneses apostrophe. I don't give a shit how nice or shiny your things are or mine aren't. I'd rather have money in the bank than a new car every year. My car is 6 years old and works fine, and still looks nice. Why would I trade it in just to keep up? Same with phones, clothes, computer, even stuff for my home, etc. I like mine, and I get good quality stuff so it lasts. To trade it in for the sake of it would be silly and a waste of money. People taking out loans for their wedding expenses. One of the #1 reasons people get a divorce is money. No better way to start off your marriage than in debt, I guess. Thinking that being a dick is funny. People who think being an asshole is funny, I think, just crave any attention they can get. I have an uncle who's an asshole on the outside but deep down is really caring. But to me it just seems like he never learned how to express his emotions and feels he's protecting himself by being an ass. Small talk. Go big or go home. Angry sex and macup sex. What? No. If I'm mad at you, I don't want you to ducking touch me. I don't have angry sex. I have angry abstinence. I never got this either. My anger is just anger, and the last thing I want is sex or intimacy. I can barely be in the same home with someone I'm mad at, let alone in bed with them. Speakerphone in public. I barely even want to take a normal call anywhere in public with a whispered tone. God, my dad used to do it all the time and I would absolutely burn inside. The word daddy used sexually. I have been calling my father daddy for 30 years and even just calling him dad feels so weird. Now I really have to find a new name for him. People who feel the need to post nasty, negative comments on others' posts on social media. Don't like it? Scroll past. Unfollow. Unsubscribe. The world has enough negativity without it. Hanging out in loud crowded places. Give me a place where you can actually have a conversation and elbow room. Gender reveal party. Fighting / yelling / hostility in relationships with my significant other. It could very well stem from my childhood, I guess. It's not to say we don't have disagreements or the relationship is flawless, but obstacles always have been resolved without much issue. Fortunately, this held true with all of my romantic relationships. I've always lived by the saying conflict is inevitable. Fighting is optional. My god. Yes. People all around me think that's normal or even desirable. And am horrified when I see them screaming at each other and saying stuff designed to hurt the other person. Having what is considered a normal social life. I have the social desires of a sim. Sometimes my bar gets low and I need some interaction, but once my bar is full I can go without for a while. My sims were always tired after work and would get up late at night when nobody wanted to hang out, so they stayed alone. That's more realistic than I'd like to admit. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed watching this video. Leave your thoughts in the comments below.